Hello everyone, my name is Zabi. Today I am going to teach class 12th English book Vistas. Chapter 4, The Enemy. This chapter is written by Pearl S. Buck. Students, those who did not subscribe our channel, please subscribe and press bell icon for the notifications. Students, first of all I will tell you the introduction of this chapter, The Enemy, written by Pearl S. Buck, is a heart-rending portrayal of the conflict between a man's heart and mind. It tells us about how people can help enemies on human ground. To hate our enemy is natural and justifiable, especially during wartime. This story beautifully depicts how a human being rises above his prejudices to help a wounded enemy. Now, listen the theme very carefully. Actually, the chapter Enemy stresses on the fact that humanity requires one to overcome prejudices and hatred, especially against one's enemies. This chapter conveys a message that humanism go beyond the usual limits. Now main characters. So first character is Dr. Sadao, a Japanese doctor trained by Americans, dedicated surgeon and doctor, has a very kind against white man. Next character, Hana. Hana is the wife of Dr. Sadao. They met in America. They became friends and got married in Japan. Hana is a balanced woman. She stands always with her husband. She is a very responsible person. She is dignified and graceful lady. Next character, Tom. Tom is an American prisoner of war. Next character, General Takima, as a famed Japanese war hero, as a selfish and careless. Next character, Yumi. She is a maid and as domestic servants used to do domestic work, loyal to the country. Now students, I will tell you the summary of this chapter. Please listen the summary very carefully. Don't go through the text. Actually, first of all, in this chapter it was told that Dr. Sadao was a famous Japanese surgeon and scientist. He was perfecting a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. His house was located next to a narrow beach. The beach was outlined with bent pines. Island also existed near his house. In a storm, it had been submerged. A mile or two on either side of the house was a fishing village, but near his house there existed only the bare and the lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The water beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Now students, Dr. Sadao and his wife Hana stood outside their house. A man suddenly appears out of the ocean. They ran towards him. To their shock, he was an American prisoner of war who was badly wounded and had become unconscious. Sadao is torn between his duty as a doctor and his loyalty towards Japan. As citizens, having a sense of national loyalty, they felt it their duty to put the man back into the sea. However, soon they rose above narrow prejudices and brought the man into their house, even though they faced open defense by their domestic staff. Their domestic staff disobeyed to help. They went, they left the house. They looked after actually the man. They realized the risk inherent in harboring an enemy. But Dr. Sadao knew that he would not be arrested and condemned by the ruthless general, as he himself might need his services any time for an operation. Dr. Sadao informed ailing general. Dr. Sadao revealed the matter to the general, who decided to send assassins to kill the young American in his sleep. Keen on getting rid of the escaped war prisoner, Dr. Sadao agreed. However, the matter could not be resolved because the assassins never came. Dr. Sadao then planned another way to get rid of man, which was overpowered with sympathy and distant gratitude towards the people. He had been linked to in America. He decided to save his patient one more time. He secretly sent him to an isolated island with food, bottled water, clothes, blanket, and his own flashlight light on a boat from where he boarded a Korean ship to freedom and safety. Now, students, few questions are there which we will discuss here. As I will read the questions and try to answer you. Please listen it very carefully. Now, first question: who was Dr. Sadao and where was his house? Very simple. I already told you that Dr. Sadao was a famous Japanese surgeon, and his house was located next to the narrow beach. The beach was outlined with the band pines. A little uninhabited island also existed near his house. In a storm, I told you it had been submerged. Now, next question: what did Dr. Sadao and his wife do with the man? Dr. Sadao operated the wounded man. The operation was successful. Dr. Sadao knew that the wounded man would now be out of danger. So he and his wife decided to give him to the police as a prisoner of war. However, the man was very weak. Thus, they decided to keep him till he recovered, so that later they could decide what to do with him. Now, next question. Will Hannah help the wounded man and wash him herself? So, here Hannah will help the wounded man and wash him himself, herself. The wounded American was in a very sad state and needed to be washed before being operated on. Hannah did not want Dr. Sadao to clean the dirty and unconscious prisoner, and so asked their servant Yumi to do so. However, Yumi defied her master's order and did not help. She thought she would be punished by law for being a traitor to her country. As a result, Hannah had no other option but to wash him herself. Now, next question. What will Dr. Sadao do to get rid of man? So, here it is told that Dr. when the he saw the improvement of his patient, so he went to the general. Dr. Sadao revealed everything to the general, who decided to send assassinations to kill the young American. But anyhow, that Dr. Sadao agreed to kill the war prisoner. However, the matter could not be resolved because the assassins never came. Dr. Sadao then planned another way to get rid of man, which was overpowered with the sympathy and distant gratitude towards the people he had been linked to in America. So he decided to save the patient one more time. He secretly sent him to an isolated island with food, bottled water, cloths, blanket, and he also provided a boat from where he boarded a Korean ship to freedom and safety. So next question number 5. Will Dr. Sadao be arrested on the charge of harboring an enemy? So here Dr. Sadao knew that if they sheltered a white man in their house, they would be arrested definitely. The wounded white man was a prisoner of war. He had escaped with a bullet on his back. Since Japan and America were at war, he would become a traitor to Japan for harboring an enemy. If anyone complained against Dr. Sadao and accused him harboring an enemy, simply he could be arrested. Thank you very much.